around, you can see some laser sensors are these kind of black glass looking sensors. Those are just emitting some light and getting it turns back, and it's able to tell how far away things are kind of shape. We also use radar integrated into the car, so you can't really see those sensors. They're really good at detecting velocity. So basically, yeah, it's good geometry and some good velocity. We fuse all that together, and now we know all of these objects are good. Next to a vehicle very different. So there's two cameras there, lasers and radar. See it from the front view. You can't see the radar. There's radars. So the nice thing about radar, the radar energy will actually penetrate the glass. Integrated in nicely. There's a radar here, so and then the cameras one is just optimized for daylight. The other is we have one other camera down here. This is the passenger. So beyond your headlights, where the vision system will fail, you can see
So when that one television has that car that says it's predicting an accident 2 cars back, what technology do they use?
Radar.
Radar.
So yeah, it's funny because that used to actually be a problem with radar.
Yeah.
So what happens with radar is you see the car in front of you, but some of the energy will bounce off the road onto the car, hit the car in the front, and come back. And for a while, that was considered a problem. We had to figure out how to filter stuff out.
Right.
And then we found that we can actually do neat tricks by seeing the car in front of us.
Yeah, because
the car in front of the next
car in front is stopped, and the one right.
That's right.
And the one right in front of you isn't. Yep. You can tell the one in front of that is already stopped.
And with vehicle-to-vehicle communications, you can see around the corner, beyond trucks and so on. So it's very, very complementary.
And the way our system works is we treat that vehicle-to-vehicle communication just as another sensor. So in the same way we fuse radar and lasers together, we also fuse this V2V stuff. So you can imagine you see something, it goes behind there, we can still track it, and then it pops out on the other side, you see it again. And we can fuse all of this information together.
Nick, it'd be interesting to get the testimony from that my subcommittee hearing on infrastructure R&D, and get that testimony and send it to those guys.
Yeah, I can give you a copy.
We can do that. I had a hearing. I'm a chairman of the Technology, Research and Technology Subcommittee on Science.
Right.
And the hearing last week was on research and development, transportation research and development.
Oh, wow.
We were discussing these issues.
Yeah.
And you would probably be interested in reading the testimony of the people that testified. There was somebody, the head of federal DOT section on research on research and development was there. What was his name? I don't know. Anyway, he's an undersecretary.
Okay.
He was an African American.
Greg Winfrey.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah. And then real good testimony. And then there was somebody from Toyota and some people, other private sector people. And it was interesting. Some privacy issues came up with the vehicle and the vehicle-to-person stuff, and that's stuff that's one of the, I think, issues that some people have to get past. People are worried that if there's that communication, that somebody knows where they're traveling and all that. I don't personally have that issue, but there are privacy issues related to it, the technology. But you'd find the hearing testimony fascinating. We have it in
I'd like to take a look at it.
We have it in electronic form. We'll send it to you. Yeah.
Please do.
Their full testimony, and you can read through it. And
thanks. Greg Winfrey's group, Rod probably told you, they also manage the University Transportation Center program.
Yes, they do. And we talked about that a lot. In fact, there was somebody there from one of the universities that's involved in that.
Okay. Peter Sweatman, maybe, or
I can't remember which university it was from. That might have been Michigan.
Yeah, because
I can't remember.
It's been
last week.
Yeah, we're looking at doing some collaborative things between CMU and University of Michigan.
Yeah, and Rose Holman is in my district. They're part of that. They're an engineering, small engineering school, which is in Terre Haute, Indiana. It's Rose Holman Institute, it's called. So they were part of that, what you were just talking about. That whole thing. And
that's cool.
you'd probably be interested in testing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You mentioned the Raj. Can you
testified last year?
Yeah, to the PTRI subcommittee in transportation.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, on autonomous vehicles.
Yeah. This is on the Science, Space, and Technology Committee.
Yes.
We had our committee has some jurisdiction for all federal research and development, including, you know, obviously multiple federal departments do R&D, and there's different jurisdictions. Our jurisdiction on transportation is on the research side.
I see.
So, and I'm on the transportation committee also, so
Yes.
you know, we do all this stuff.
And this, of course, had the NSF funding as well.
Yeah, and I'm the subcommittee chairman that's working on NSF. You may or may not know that.
I see.
But yeah, we're trying to reauthorize the National Science Foundation.
I see.
Cora Merritt.
I know Cora well.
She was one of the speakers yesterday. She's what a delightful lady.
Yeah, the new director.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, she's a deputy director now.
Is from Purdue.
Yes.
Former president of Purdue University.
Okay.
I can't remember her name.
France Cordova.
Cordova, yeah.
And then we've been working.
I've met her too.
I see.
Because we're trying to. There's no. We haven't got an agreement yet. You know, amongst all the stakeholders about what going forward with the NSF reauthorization, but I'm working on that, so I know a lot about it.
And we've been working very closely with General Motors for quite some time, since 2000 at CMU.
Okay.
Been a long-term supporter of our research here.
Good.
So,
You know, the private sector, you know, the federal government funding basic science research is, I think, something that is very important at the federal level.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it's budgetary issues, you know, where we're not doing as much as we should or could be doing, but we're trying.
Good. Thanks a lot, Congressman.
But the private sector, like GM and others, are picking up some of the slack.
True.
Microsoft, I know, spends millions and millions of dollars on research. A lot of companies do.
Yes.
But like what we find with GM, it's the initial federal supporting the initial parts of the research, and then when it comes more to the
Applied
development, applied and deployment,
Yes.
then that's when they're interested in taking over.
Yeah.
So it was all that defense funding from the 80s up until 2006, and then GM came with their labs for integration in, but it's that early.
It is, and we talk about tech transfer all the time, that issue, you know, getting things from basic science research and how you, and the funding gap is where you is in the translational period.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So we're working on multiple committees trying to figure out how do you know, with tech transfer and how you facilitate tech transfer from the stuff that's federally funded over into private sector, where the private sector can then pick up from there and move forward. And that's a challenge, but it can be, it's improving.
But that's through that UTC program. That's what we're doing a lot of that with the partnerships with both the state DOT and the companies, and working with the cities and others to be able to kind of to close that gap. So that's why that program is kind of it's a lot of applied research too.
Our own Al Beeler used to be the secretary of PennDOT, Pennsylvania, for 8 years.
It's really helpful to share that research, the results among all of the folks in the university center, but really important within the DOT world, both the federal and the state. Because folks will really use it. Now you got something that's a little track you can connect the utility of making that kind of investment.
Well, thanks for your time.
Hey,
thanks for the ride. Yeah,
thank you, Congressman.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
for all your work.
Congressman.
This
Thank
is
you.
important stuff because this is stuff that's going to be practical.
Yes, sir.
No doubt about it.
Yes.
When none of us know, right?
Yes,
Yeah, it's coming.
And we are working on vehicle-to-person communications too, so you'll see that happening also.
Yes. Okay.
We're actually starting it too.
Yep.
So
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for your time.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. We'll get